Serves me right to suffer. Serves me right to be alone. Oh, it serves me right to suffer, to suffer. It serves me right to be alone. Because the life I'm living in memories gone by. Every time I see a woman, she makes me think of mine, think of mine. Oh, she makes me think of mine, think of mine. That's why when I see another woman, folks, I just can't keep from crying, keep from crying. Serves me right to suffer. Serves me right to be alone. Serves me right to suffer, to suffer. It serves me right to be alone. Because I'm trying to live my life in the days of memories gone by. My doctor put me on milk, cream, and alcohol. My doctor wrote me a description for milk, cream, and alcohol. My nerves were so bad, I couldn't rest, couldn't sleep at all that night, and that's why he placed me on milk, cream, and alcohol. He placed me on milk, cream, and alcohol to ease my nerves so I could lay down and rest at night. Milk, cream, and alcohol. That's my birthday song. So I got the mic placed up here and I'm talking real quiet because I didn't want to get out of bed and turn the fan down. But yeah, I had trouble with the phrasing in it and stuff. You may or may not know it's a John Lee Hooker song, and he plays the guitar along with the lyrics. So, John Lee Hooker, I am not. But he was like a one-man band, you see. He'd play guitar and then sing and mimic the vocals with the guitar, fingerpick style, and then he would have a board that he would stomp on, and that would be the percussion. So he was kind of like a one-man band, and he was hard for other people to play with because he had his own thing going on, you know. And you had, of course, this we're talking Depression era days, and you had to hustle. So he was always like, he was like one of the first guys that you could even call like a rapper, because he would just go in and make up lyrics to the same stuff and go from studio to studio in different places, and it's the same song. But he's getting his few dollars here and there any way he can. And he was the first blues artist to have a million selling or gold record, and it was called Boogie Chillun, and it was just BOOGIE Chillun, CHILLUN, and it was spelled that way. But you don't get too much cooler than John Lee Hooker. I mean, watch a video on here called Hobo Blues, and is that good stuff. Anyway, that's my happy birthday song. It just seemed appropriate. I had a couple of conversations with people, and I'm going to tack this on to the and of a video that I made. Well, it's a song, so I'll put it at the beginning of a video I made a few days ago and post it. I'll have to re-download it and stuff, and you know, tack it together with Movavi. But nobody remembered it was my birthday except for one niece, and bought me a birthday present. And I was like, I've been sick for like seems like, I think since the 5th, and it's the 15th. So, and I was explaining to my best friend, like, life is kind of slipping away from me because I'm still like I'm still tapering at 33% for some goddamn reason. I mean, you think I understand myself? I don't understand why I I hate benzos that much that I'm willing to like torture myself and put myself through emotional like turmoil, even though I know that's probably not the way to go. And but I'm not sleeping right. You see, like, I got an aid worker coming in here at 8 o'clock in the morning that I need a lot. I need, like, I figured out I didn't have any detergent, and this is nasty. But I've been wearing the same shorts for like 2 weeks, and I keep forgetting to buy detergent when I order stuff from Walmart. So I don't really have any detergent. I can use like dishwashing liquid or something and wash something out in the sink. But I'm like too depressed to do anything. So that was a nice, beautiful, depressing song. And it really is, you know, a meaningful, for a short little thing, besides the weird part about his doctor writing him a description, not a prescription, but a description for milk, cream, and alcohol. If you look at the lyrics, it's like it serves him right to suffer because he's living his life in memories of days gone by. And you can't do that, you know. You can't live in memory. You have to addressed. You have to address what's going on in your life right now. And you're gonna suffer if you live like that, if you live in the past. And also, he says that it makes him cry, that every time he sees a woman, it makes him think of a lost love. So that was relatable to me. And then he just says again, he said it serves him right to suffer because he's trying to live his life in the days of memories gone by. You know, and yeah, some meaningful stuff. I couldn't hit that one note in the word alone to save my life. Not, you know, I know I'm not a good singer, but anyways, I gotta kind of reboot everything. Like tonight, I'm thinking, okay, enough with the taper. I'm gonna try to go to sleep and set my alarm and be ready for Tuesday. I need detergent. I need help. You know, the only people I can rely on are these aid workers, but they're coming in here at 8 o'clock in the morning, and like that is about when I've been going to sleep, and I'm waking up. Like today, I woke up at 3 in the afternoon. I still got a cold. You know, I'm still unshaven. I still got like depression going on. Justifiable, I think. You know, like when I talked to my brother, I was saying like there's like two types of depression. There's like the depression that's a logical outcome from someone in touch with their reality, and then there's the other kind of depression that's more, you know, he knows I'm talking about him, but like that's more of a clinical thing where it's like, I mean, the dude's strong as an ox. He's healthy. He can walk. I can't do any of these things. I'm not strong as an ox, man. I gotta work out. If I can work out at all, it's gotta be with tiny little weights. And, you know, and now I hate living here in these horrible circumstances. I got a dog barking above me. And, I just have too many bad things like just keep happening. You know, like one after the other, which I recount in the second part of this after I fuse this on the beginning. But it is my birthday and I am 52 years old. So I made it to 52 somehow with 34 years of, is that good math? No, it's not good math at all. Yeah, no, 34 years. Yeah, that's right. With a full-blown case of CRPS. 34 years. That's over 3 decades, 3.5 decades. And then before that, I had 3 major spinal surgeries and had to learn how to walk twice. So, but here I am, and in all my living glory, and full living color. The color being bright white, because I don't ever get to go outside. And it's like, I used to have fluorescent, I still got them, fluorescent lamp for plants, and I'm like, I should probably put fluorescent lamps on me, and in this room, except for they irritate me if you look directly at them. And I think I only got 2. It's like a 4-bulb setup for when I had plants. It's like I'm a hothouse plant. This is a greenhouse. But anyways, yeah, I have to just, like I said, in the following part of this video, which was made 2 days ago, it's like I have to bootstrap. And I wasn't able to do that the last 2 days. And this place is getting overrun with cockroaches, and I have to, you know, you think that would be incentive for me to do this, but I have stuff that will help, that work very effective. But it's like a tube clogged up, and I have to snip the end off of it. And it's like, I gotta start moving, and I gotta start doing. And like tomorrow, I gotta address my appointments, and I don't even know if, like, I just left a message. I like to talk to actual live people. I'm weird like that. I just left a message on a machine saying that I canceled the appointment. I canceled it on Friday for a Monday, but hopefully I won't be awake. And I can, I'm thinking, like, if I break the 2-volume thing that I've been doing a day, I'm supposed to, according to the bottle, be taking 3 a day, and I take 2, and I do some work, and I wear myself out, and I take 2, and I take a blood pressure pill. I can get some sleep, and I can wake up in the morning. That's all I'm asking for, is a morning wake up. It can be 11:59, but I want to wake up in the morning. I don't want to be waking up in the afternoon just because I have a cold. And setting my alarm is not going to help, because you know, you need that sleep to help you recover from being sick. But tomorrow, phone calls, you know, it's extremely hard to do anything when you know, like, you start moving around. You got the bad knee and the bad foot and the broken toes and stuff. And then I got like the depression thing going on, so I don't want to do anything, you know. So, but it's not going to get better not doing anything. I got to try to make it better. And it's got to start tonight. It's got to start with some very basic things like shaving and putting down that poison for the cockroaches to eat, and doing a walk, just walking up and down through this place. And nobody from that house that I moved into Maslin to be by these people, but no phone calls, no happy birthdays, no nothing from them, because they're probably justifiably afraid of me, or just of what I might say to him. Um, but I haven't talked to any of them since they crossed that line, where I made it very clear, $20 at a time, man. And then they asked me for $40, and they actually put up the person that I'm on the best terms with for to bum $40 off of me. I was like, you caught me on the wrong goddamn day, and that's like the last words I had with anybody. And then the last thing that I did to make the point was to give that boat to the most hated family member, and make my foster brother get involved in the sale, knowing that this boat that he had possession of for 10 years is getting drunk up, more or less, getting sold. The, the, the money is going toward an alcoholic that he hates, which he claimed to, I still love him. And I'm like, yeah, bullshit. Just wanted to call him on his bullshit, and I found a very effective way to do that. And I went through all this stuff before, but I didn't like being blamed for this other guy's actions. Like, I can stop him. It's like, I can barely walk. You people don't even keep tabs on me or give a shit about me. It's like, I can barely walk. How am I going to stop him from going to your house? I did everything I could to mellow him out so he wouldn't act up at your house. I took time out of my life and sanity messing with this dude to get him within a stone's throw of sanity so he doesn't burn your fucking house down. And the payment I get is a bunch of goddamn attitude, and then more or less calling me a liar and asking me for more money when I already set the parameters at $20 a pop. And it wasn't over no emergency. I didn't hear we're starving, or the furnace is out, or I need to get an operation or anything. It was just, just wanted some money. But yeah, tomorrow, it's hard, it's just not, it's hard to be alone. It does serve me right to suffer, and it serves me right to be alone. It's hard to be alone, and because you gotta do that bootstrapping stuff all the time. It's like, oh, I gotta do this and I gotta do that, and it's, in my situation especially, it's very difficult. So I'm gonna tag this onto the beginning of another video, and it won't get uploaded to YouTube for hours till late tonight. It might not. It probably will still be my birthday. But that's my happy birthday song. Is Serves Me Right to Suffer by John Lee Hooker. You can look it up if you want to hear it done right. Yeah, that's one of the originals, man. Not really, but he goes back a long ways. John Lee Hooker mainly got famous because of the Blues Brothers. He was singing Boom Boom Boom. He was a street musician singing Boom Boom Boom. Gonna shoot you right down, take you home with me. Something like that. From 1977 with Jim Belushi, when Jim Belushi, did I say that right? No, John Belushi. John Belushi was at his height at Saturday Night Live. Him and Dan Aykroyd did that Blues Brothers movie, which I probably don't have to explain. It's a pretty famous movie. But that's how a lot of people got to know him, was off of that movie. That didn't know about him. Even though he was the first guy to sell 1 million records, the first blues artist to sell 1 million records and have a gold album. But anyways, I will see you in a couple of seconds. And I wish I could sing better, but that's the best I got. Que pasa? Well, like about 10 hours after I put up my most optimistic video, it's like I was at the crest of the roller coaster, and I went down to the bottom. And it was mainly because I was talking about having an appointment or wanting to make an appointment with my primary caregiver. I already had an appointment scheduled, but I didn't have any time to. Not only did I not have enough time to arrange any transportation for it, because it was a Thursday and it was a Monday, and you need like 5 business days, you know. But I felt sick, and I didn't want to go into the doctor all sick, which doesn't make any sense. It's when you should go to the doctor, but whatever I got's wrong with me is like hanging on. And yeah, I'm going to have to work through it, I guess. I haven't been walking around or working my heart. My anxiety is going up there because of the, I don't know, never leaving the house thing. And I had 3 appointments. The only time I get to leave the house is when I have appointments, because I don't really have any friends. So that's the only time I get to leave the house. So you can't be stuck inside all the time. And I mean, I got really frustrated because I woke up at like 2 in the morning, sick, after I made my optimistic video. And then I'll skip the unsavory details of it, but and then I had to stay awake because my doctor's office is only open till 12, and I had to make sure I can't, canceled that appointment that was coming on Monday. That freaked me out, is because usually I don't ever lose track of appointments. It's like usually I keep the appointment card like under a magnet on the refrigerator or something. So like losing track of reality, didn't care for that too much. And it's like I was just talking about wanting to make an appointment with the guy. I already got an appointment with the guy. I'm just talking about I should get a flu shot if this isn't the flu. And I don't want to keep this appointment because I can't hardly eat, because my stomach's just very unhappy with me these days, and don't really have any appetite. Colds hang on sometimes, this happens, but I had like I gotta express, this somehow. So I had like made a video while I was waiting for the doctor's office to open up, and it's not anything useful. It's just a reciting how like I don't get a break, like how I jump from one thing to another thing to another thing, and I don't ever get a break. It's like I have the issues with the war vet guy, and then I go from that to get my heart cardioverted for like the 6th time on the 12th of September, and I go from that to like almost within a month having to be, having to get all these teeth pulled, and then I go from that to part of that was the bullshit with the neighbor, where I cut ties with him, and then I broke my toes, and then I'm stuck walking on broken toes, and it's like, okay, I don't ever get a break anyway because of the CRPS. I don't ever get a break. It doesn't ever stop. Like I said a long time ago in another video, the first pamphlet I read about the disease, the title to it was, I remember the picture, it had like a stop sign with a line through it, and it said, it was called RSD back then. It said RSD, the pain that never stops. So I always got something going on anyway. But then to have all this other stuff piled on top of me, it reminds me of being like a kid playing football, and you're already tackled, and kids will pile on top of you until you can't breathe, just because they're kids and they're sadistic and they think it's funny. And yeah, I'm drinking some coffee right now, and I've been taking, like I had to up my dosage of benzos. I even broke out the Xanax to get through all the teeth devastation and stuff. But I took very little. In total, 5 Xanax to get 6 teeth removed. So, those are back stashed. Uh, but now I'm like, I had a mild upswing in dosage, and now I'm like, I just get like this. I'm wanting to take 2 Valium, 10 milligram Valium instead of 3, which is my dosage on the bottle. 3 10 milligram pills daily. I'm taking 2. And where that's putting an added strain on me or fucking with my mood, to where like now I'm all cheerful and optimistic, and I think it's more just like feeling sick, and the isolation gets to you after a while. And I called my brother a couple of nights in a row, and he was super depressed the one night, and then the next night I call him, he had something, organic to be depressed about, which is his furnace died, so he's got to get his furnace fixed. And he's subsisting on 3 electric heaters and an electric blanket right now. This is northern Ohio. It's not that cold out for this time of year. It's like mid 30s, but I think at night it drops down in the 20s. I don't know. I'm just shut up and inside like a prisoner, so yeah. I understand that anybody in my situation would have trouble handling it. Even just like losing all those teeth in such a short period of time, and having it even affect, being able to say certain words and affect your speech, and having, yeah, having troubles on both sides, so you don't really have any side to chew on and all that. I know it's a lot of stuff. But I don't want to just sit. I didn't want to put that video up right after the optimistic video. I wanted something a little more measured, because, people might enjoy watching a good freak out, but, and I don't got no shame about it or anything like that. I just recited you some of what was in the video. It's like just jumping from one thing to another. I can recite like, it's like I don't get a clean month. I don't get a month where I get, peace and quiet, nothing going on, no hostilities, no physical problems, no broken toes, no consistency as far as digestion. I never get that anyway. But I just took I've been taking Valium on the 5s, so I just took Valium before I started this video, a 10 milligram pill, and my sleep has been disrupted badly, which I never like. I always like to wake up in the morning early and then know that I'm going to get sleepy at night. Now it's like I probably won't get sleepy until like 5 o'clock in the morning or something ridiculous like that. I don't have anything lined up at all until the 20th, or no, actually until the 18th. I'm probably going to have somebody come over here, and I'm giving away my treadmill, and they're going to walk on it and see if, it'll work for them or whatever, because I'm moving and I'm not moving that thing. And on the 20th is when I talked to, I guess I should say caseworker instead of social worker, but the guy that's going to try to help me move. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's necessary for me to be like totally broken down to get help, you know? Um, I'm trying to remember, like, I'm trying to remember before I got the first benzos off of my aunt, what my life was like then. And memory is a tricky thing, but um, I remember it being livable, okay? I remember it being livable. I had a lot of bad things going on, but I mean physically tolerable, more physically tolerable anyway. And I remember how patient I used to be with people, and now I have no patience at all. I call my brother in like I'm looking at the phone, and I'm like 12 minutes into the conversation, and I'm like, I can feel the irritability rising in me, and I'm like, I wanted to take a Valium, so I compromised and I took a blood pressure pill, and yeah, it's the whole. I mean, you go through a roller coaster of emotions when you go through the benzo deal, anyways, and yeah, I said I had given up withdrawing, and that was never really true because I've always had extra pills. It's like, so you're still taking less than what's prescribed, but I was talking about like, charting it and like methodically saying, okay, I'm going to try this much lower and I'm going to try this much lower. But I mean, I'm like 20 pills ahead on my prescription. My prescription is due to get filled Christmas Eve. And so really I'm still tapering because I want to, like I said, I want a good jumping off point to where like where it's not going to, where it's not going to take forever for me to get to the water titration part of the deal. Because I got this whole plan worked out with a professional that's done this kind of crap before. It's just, this place is just a madhouse, and I got crazy bad luck and a very bad landlord. Um, so it's like I, the first priority, instead of like getting off the benzos, became getting out of here. And and then I made the foolish. It was kind of like I talked about it, like it was sort of like to give me some hope for the future. It's like, well, the Brown season is coming, so I'll invest in these Browns cards, and then I can have some enjoyment, watching them. Yeah, watching Browns games not that enjoyable, especially when you have like a huge chunk of money invested in how well they do. It hasn't been good. Um, but yeah, I mean, all you can do, and it's really hard to get moving. Like, it's another day where it takes me so much time to get out of bed. What got me out of bed today is night has already fallen. Is there a window in view? I'm pointing at the closet. It's always dark in the closet. But night has already fallen. And what only thing that got me out of bed was there's these cats outside that are dependent on me for food. And while I'm here, at least, I'm going to make sure they got full bellies. So I had like the last of the dry cat food to give them, and I'm like, if I wait too long, the raccoons will just take it from them. So I got my other cat in the house here. I think his one eye, his left eye is looking a little like it reflects light weird, so it looks like he might be going blind in his left eye. And I was like, I have no idea how old he is, but cats age at, like people at different rates. and you know, I feel responsible for him. It's kind of funny, like to have a constant reminder of the person that hurt you the worst, like around all the time. Because my sister gave me that cat, and she talked me into taking him, and at the time, you know, something in my head, there's something in your head, I think, that blocks out like all the like responsibility or all the bad stuff that comes with having a pet, probably even with having a child. And you're like, oh, let's do that again, you know. But yeah, the whole roller coaster thing, it just gets old, and it's not just a roller coaster of emotions with me. It's like events, like um, it's not like anything really good ever happens. You know, there's not a lot of good things happening except for getting it, hooked up with a motivated caseworker that's going to help me get out of here. That was like the only good thing I could think of. The good things for me is when bad things don't happen to me. That's it. It's not, Um, but yeah, I got this whole depression thing now. And I was just like fell into it, like right after being all optimistic to the point where I didn't bother washing out a coffee cup. I just don't feel up to anything. And, I feel that isolation. And, yeah, I'm a loner, but even loners, they don't like to be alone all the time, you know. And I don't really have anything profound or interesting to say. I was just uh, sort of documenting the mood swing without it being like the video that I made. Like I was really, um, it just would have been too incongruous, They just wouldn't have matched up to where I'm like, I'm gonna get me a suit and wear a suit, and I'm gonna be living somewhere else, and I'm all confident and everything. And then the next thing, you know, I mean, I'm probably talking to benzo people, so they understand that that's just the way it goes. You know, you go from the penthouse to the outhouse mood wise, like it's just the way it goes. But I'm physically ill, and I got kind of have to fight through that, on with whatever this cold is. I still have to. I can't lay around and be anxious. You know, I still, for some reason, want to taper. I'm 33% and take 2 pills instead of 3 pills, which I have been doing for a few days. Um, you could blame the mood swing on that. You could blame the mood swing on like you thought you was getting better from a cold, but then you woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning and felt sicker than hell. I mean, I don't know. Um, but yeah, I mean, I even got to like once my beard, if you could even call it that, 'cause I could never grow a beard. Once I get this much growth, it itches, and I don't even want to shave that off. I'm just laying here being itchy, and yeah, it's not a level. This isn't a doable life, but just have to hang in there and see if I can get some help. If I can't get some help to this caseworker, I will just. I already have a pretty good savings built up as far as enough money to move. Not savings like in buying a house, but enough to move. And I'll be able to. I'm gonna pay the rent. I told the landlord I was gonna pay the rent for December and January by Christmas, and so by February I'll definitely have enough money to move, and I'll take the financial loss and just make it as just make it like running out of here like a thief in the night, and just leaving all this non-valuable shit behind, and some valuable stuff maybe. It just depends. um I didn't have a lot of stability growing up, so I value stability and familiarity. When I was healthier and I could depend on my body more, I was a little more adventurous, and I did put $800 in my sock and just hop in a car with strangers and go down south and stay with my brother in Georgia, when I was young. But now I just kind of like familiarity, you know. And it's like, yeah, I can call a cab, and I could have done that to go to the doctor's office, but I just wasn't in the right frame of mind for that, and I feel sick, and I think it's just the cold anyway. He's just gonna tell me to get over the cold, but I could have asked him about the knee thing. But what I can do is Monday I can make an appointment. I mean, he's moving his whole office, um, like miles from here. It's a third of a mile away. In other words, if the roads are clear and I'm healthy enough, I can ride a mobility scooter there, which I have done now. But he's gonna move way down the road. Um, uh, so that's gonna happen January 20th, and get in to see him before January 20th. I can even go myself, which there's a lot of value in that. It's people take things for granted, and mobility, as far as walking, as far as like going where I wanted to, when I wanted to. I took none of these things ever for granted, because I had to learn how to walk when I was 16, and then my dad was never going to teach me how to drive, and was never going to buy me a car. So it's like I would have had to um, get a job like locally I could walk to, and everything went to hell when I was 15, 16 years old. So um, yeah, I don't take those are things that people take for granted, and yeah, having it's sort of like I've always been relatively intelligent. I've sort of taken that for granted over the years, and could figure things out that other people couldn't figure out. You know, I mean, lots of times they were things that weren't of particular usefulness or value. Sometimes they were, but right now this is a pretty dire situation. So the fact that I was able to muster that much optimism is quite amazing to me. You know, but belief is very powerful. The whole God stuff, whatever. If I'm talking to an atheist right now, or if there's one in the audience, it's like you can diss the whole God thing, but you cannot diss the belief thing, because I've seen it. Belief is very powerful and very empowering. How many times have you seen like an that athlete that won a title or something, like give credit to God? It's like it's really his belief that made him train, that made him work. It's really the belief that's the powerful part. You know, as I think Rodney Carrington, the comedian, said, God don't care about no car race. God don't care about no football game. What kind of God would that be? Is the God betting on the Patriots? Seems like it. But I ate one meal yesterday and I waited until I was starving to do it. I don't really have any appetite. And probably the same thing today. But today I think I'm going to break out the walker and sick or not, get some cardio in. And, I can't just lay in bed and turn into sludge, you know? And that's where that belief comes in, where you just have to keep trying. And you have to keep trying, and you have to keep trying. And it's like benzos was like the worst thing for me to. It's the worst thing to happen to most people, but I get extra bonus points because I had CRPS, which is already an autonomic disease, and it has to do with your nerves and neurotransmitters and all that stuff. So what do? Why I go and get addicted to something that messes with your GABA reception and the calming neurotransmitter, and I could even get the GABA is like part of the process. It's not the GABA that calms you down, but the GABA is essential for a process that calms down your nervous system. And I already got neuropathic pain. I already feel like parts of me are on fire sometimes. And then, you know, I get something, or I'm like throwing gasoline on the napalm already. And, just because, I have plenty, you can always come up with reasons for things, but there's really no excuse for ever putting anything in your body. And I would even go so far as to say this: if you're getting it from a doctor, and I'm not talking about benzos, but like anything, without doing research on it, and like just, I'm like the less drugs the better type of guy. It's like I'm supposed to be taking gabapentin. I got like this giant bottle. I filled it all the way up this time. Yeah, I got so many pill bottles in here that I don't take. I'll make funny faces in the meantime to be entertaining. And of course, it's not easily accessible. But trust me, it's like a giant bottle, and I filled it all the way up. It probably has 400 pills in it of gabapentin. And I don't want to take those. Those are supposed to be for my neuropathy, but I just, I think the less pills you take, the better. There's some stuff you have to take to survive, but, I guess the point there is like, just always research whatever it is you're putting in your body. Just don't take anybody's word for it, no matter if they have plaques on the walls or anything like that. And that goes for advice. And I don't know. It's easy to like, you're already kind of not well, and you're feeling sick, or you're feeling crazy, we'll say. You're feeling not well, either mentally, physically, emotionally. So you want to trust in an authority figure. So you're already like at a disadvantage when you go to see a doctor. So you want to trust that they know what they're doing. Like you want to trust when they prescribe that Klonopin for you, or they prescribe the Valium, or the shoot. Some people have trouble with that Neurontin stuff. You want to trust because you know it's just human nature to want to have that security like this. You know, I want to have faith in this guy that he's going to help me out. You know, he went to school to learn about this stuff. You know, it's like sort of a form of authoritarianism to, like, you know, you want to trust an authority to know what they're doing, but in the end, you're the guy that's going to be putting the stuff in your body. So yeah, um, I still think, you know, somehow this is going to work out. I mean, it's going to work out how it's going to work out. I am not going to have a pleasant life. There's, but I can, like I said, I can have a triumphant life. I can get out of here. I can get off of benzos. I can fulfill various goals. You know, and there's no telling what's going to happen when I get off of benzos, or how, you know, a lot. I believe it was Mason that tells me that's when the fun really starts. You know, in so many words. It's like, I don't know. You know, I don't know how that's going to be. Um, I know that uh, I used to combat all my problems with exercise. It's like exercise is a beautiful thing. But now, with the bad knee and stuff, it's like, can't ride a bicycle no more. No more walks around the block. You know, when I was younger and the CRPS would bother me, I would just start walking. And I would walk for such distance that it'd be at least a half a mile before I was warmed up. I wasn't even warmed up as far as like loose and ready to start my real walk. I had already walked a half a mile. And yeah, I think that's really when I was able to do that before the knee kept getting worse. That helped me out a great deal with the benzo stuff. And sorry about the bad voice and the monotone, but yeah, that's just where I'm at right now. And I noticed like a lot of the videos where I'm like, they're titled like I'm in a very dark place or something like that. You know, like a lot of people watch those, and I'm like, that's interesting. You know, maybe they like to see um, somebody where they're not putting on the happy face. They're like, you know, they're fighting through all that negative emotions and all those bad thoughts and negative ideas and pessimism. Um, I mean, I don't know. I just know this is really hard. It's like a really bad time for me to get a cold, but it could be, if you're like a believer in like a divine plan or whatever, or even if you believe like things work out how they work out, and there's reasons for things, and you don't need like a higher being type of thing to believe that getting wiped out like I am now will make you an even huger impression on a social worker and be like, this guy is gonna die if he freaking stays in this place, and make him even more motivated and get me out of here quicker. You know, that I've learned that from many. Let's see, if you start, well, really my whole life has been shit. So, but you know, I always say 16 because that's when I had the spinal tumor. I was threatened with wheelchairs and all that. So 16. I'm gonna be 52 tomorrow, by the way. So my math being horrible, I would say that's 36 years. So I've had 36 years to figure out how to deal with dark emotional states. you know, what you have to do to get through them. And like the worst thing you can do is passivity and just sit around and let it eat you. You know, let all that bad emotion devour you. That you have to do something positive, no matter how small. Just do whatever you can do. And I don't know why I get like that with the benzos. I guess I just resent them and hate them that much that where I'm like okay, I'm not taking 3 pills. Or, you know, I know I was taking 4 or 5 pills a day during the tooth episode, but you know, over that span of weeks where I was having, you know, it takes a long time for some reason for my mouth to heal up, and that's another thing I have to do is I have to get back into the dentist, and I got get this hole in my tooth spackled where part of it fell out, like a piece of a filling fell out. But the most tragic thing to me is when I watch people that are healthy and miserable, you know, or like that are like wasting their youth on stupid things, like I did. I wasted a lot of my time because I thought I was bad off back then, you know. So I would just, and I could do things that I could only dream about now. But, you know, because I had CRPS, I was like, I'll just stay in tonight. I don't want to go here. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And like, you know what the most horrifying expression in the world is? I don't know where I heard this before, but you may have heard it before. It may even be a cliche since I'm out of the loop. But it's your life is what is going on or what is happening while you're waiting for your life to start. That's kind of what I did when I was young. Is I just waited, you know, like waiting for my life to start, waiting to get better instead of just living. But yeah, the expression goes something like, "Your life is what is, your life is what happens while you're waiting for your life to start." It's like it's a very Confucius sounding thing, which I should have wrote that down, but I heard a Confucian expression that was very similar to that. That was really good. It was more or less the same sentiment. Uh, and a little wheezy. But I don't know. Like, if this is what I have to do to survive, is talk on here like way too much. Um, that's what I gotta do. I mean, I'm not able to do a whole lot else. So, um, even like, I don't know, I just don't want to go into it. But yeah, CRPS is a singular type of thing. It's not something you can explain to people, you know. It's sort of like explaining to me what it's like to be you. I mean, how do you do that? Everybody is so singular and comes from such different like backgrounds. It's like I, it's just like the way I grew up with all the violence and stuff. It's like some people can't even relate to that. That's like it always surprises me when I come across somebody that's never been in even a fist fight. You know, it's like surprising to me. Um, But no, this is just another thing, this cold thing, and I have to work through it. And it's, you know, this is something stupid. This just shows you the shape I'm in. My cat went outside last night, and wasn't even that cold out or whatever, but he likes being inside now. So he was out for a few hours, and he was so happy to see me when I was petting him that he reached all the way up and grabbed the hold of like the table that the microwave rests on, because he didn't want, he never does that, you know. And I said, "Oh, it's like that, huh?" And I went to headbutt him, because like that's like a cat thing, especially with male cats. Man, I'm lucky I didn't fall down. I come so close to falling down. I was like, man, I can't even headbutt a cat without it being I got everything's got to be like slow and stately as far as my movements. When I'm walking around, I got to be like real careful all the time. And then I was talking to my brother, and I was talking about past fishing adventures and remembering how things used to be and what a shit show they are now, and wondering if I'll ever get back there. You know, it's yeah. I was gonna write something shocking, just make a short video about it, and I'm not gonna include it here, but that it came to mind. um, but yeah, you know, just the highs and lows and the peaks and valleys and never getting a break. It just wears on you. And there was a woman that wrote on one of my old videos, like she was, she said that she was, you know, I read all my comments, of course. Anybody that wants to talk to me, I'm going to read their comments. And, but people don't check the dates on videos. That's why I put the date in the video, so they don't know how old stuff is. So they're like, she put it in the past tense. I'm really sorry this happened to you. It's like, nope, I'm sorry, but it's still happening. A year and a half later, you know. That's what I was thinking. I didn't write that, but she said that she was on Klonopin for 30 years, and she's afraid of getting dropped off of them. And then this other person that I think is using a different name now. I was going to ask her about that, but I haven't been feeling well, and I have to write like this, like one finger at a time, missing the right keys all the time. So, anyways, um, I just posted her comment where she was on Klonopin for 30 years, she said, and that she's been free of them since April something. You know, it's very important to let people know that they're not alone and that other people have conquered things. You know, that it's possible to do. That's why I think it's very important for me to conquer the benzo thing, considering the CRPS and considering all the nightmarish things that have happened in this building. You know, all the drug activity and everything, and how nothing ever seems to go right for me, to the point where it's almost comical. Um, I got guys in wheelchairs breaking my toes without running them over. Like I said, they're just break. Somehow the universe worked it out to where a guy in a wheelchair called my landlord. My landlord made an appointment behind my back. I put a heater out because he kept the appointment on a day when it was freezing cold. So I needed the heater to kick in order to break my toes. And it's like that all worked out that way. So I think it's important, I don't want it to be my life's work, believe me, but I think it's important. It'd be an important thing for to have it all documented um, the highs and lows, and the fact that even with CRPS, and even, where I'm just laying around shirtless, trapped in a room with CRPS and broken toes and a bad knee and everything, I can still get off of benzos, because I would like to send that message to other people that, like, I am not a Superman or a special person or anything like that. Just another dude. And people need to know that it can be done. You just have to believe that you can do it, and you have to understand your situation, and you need a plan, and you need help. That's all you need. Um, I think the 3 steps is, you gotta find a doctor that understands benzos and knows who Heather Ashton is. That's paramount. That's number one. And then you have to have your life ordered and stable. And you have to be like sort of psychologically prepared and environmentally prepared for what's going to happen when you start to take away that chemical. And then you have to do it at your pace, and you have to do it, you can't push too hard, which I've made that mistake a billion times. I might even be making it right now. I just can't help it. I fucking hate benzos. All right, I had a guy convincing me that I was a benzo addict, and it's like, no, I'm not a benzo addict. I'm just a guy who's physically dependent. I had a person correct me. I can almost remember their name. Maybe Benzo Terror it was, that she said, I hate when people refer to themselves as addicts, because, and then I didn't understand the difference between physical dependence and addiction, and not many people seem to understand that. And it's like, I knew somebody that was like, same difference. And it's like, no, there's a big difference. Man, there is a big difference between just having physical dependence and having the addiction. The addiction is Godzilla. Okay, that's the monster. That's where it's a psychological fight to stay sober, because for me, that's tobacco. I would be smoking. If you gave me a cigarette right now, I'd have to throw it out the window or throw it in my coffee to keep from smoking it. Um, Even though I know it will give me no pleasure and make me sick, and I know that it will put my heart at risk. You know, that's that's the addiction thing. The physical dependence thing is kind of like, I hate these fucking things. I don't want to take these things, but I have to take them, or I will get physically ill because I am physically dependent on it. And but I had that guy telling me, like, you're just in denial, you're an addict, and blah 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 blah, you're addicted or whatever, and wanted to fight about it. And I had that other person. I would refer to myself in my early uh, videos as being addicted, not knowing the difference, but there is a difference. But I'm just talking to be talking. Um, I don't like, it's standard for the benzos, but the highs and lows thing, it's like 10 hours after I make the most optimistic video I've ever made about, I'm like, just down at the bottom of the roller coaster, man. It's, you know, hmm. My doctor didn't even understand the difference between addiction and physical dependence, because he was like, some people get to where they think they need it. And I'm like, I wasn't thinking shit. Like I said in that video, I didn't even understand what was happening to me. I just felt very, ill at ease, like I had a bunch of ants crawling underneath my skin or some damn thing, and then like was freaking out, feeling seasick, and not knowing why, and thinking it had nothing to do with it. It's just physical dependence. It's not that I thought that I needed it, it's that my body no longer functioned correctly without that chemical. And, you know, the healing process varies from person to person. I don't know, like, that's something that I don't really know. It's like, even while say I get out of here and everything goes the way I want it to go, and I'm on the water titration thing and I'm taking minuscule amounts, are your GABA receptors healing even as you're taking less of the substance, even when you're taking micro doses, or do they only start healing once it's completely out of your system? You know, that's something that I don't really even know. There's a lot about this I don't know. And I don't know, like, if I can get back to an acceptable level of misery with the CRPS, like I was 5 years ago before all this started. I estimated at 5 years. I mean, I think it was, I think the ER incident where I got my first legal prescription was in 2016. But I don't know. I don't keep track of time and this is like a journal for me, where I can go back and I say, oh, this happened then, and this happened then, so it serves a purpose to me that way. Let's see, how long have I been monotoning at you? An hour, roughly. Um, but no, I mean, that's what you have to do, is like, you got to find the will within yourself to fight back. And even if it's, for me, even if it's just shaving so I don't itch, doing a 20-minute cardio walk, and maybe washing out some clothes by hand. Just a couple of small things while I'm sick, and it's not going to be fun. But that's where it's good to have people. I don't have no people. I have to bootstrap it all the time, you know. Pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. And like I said, I'm afraid to call the people that are my support system, because they can do more damage than good. And I feel too depressed to call my best friend, because I got like a birthday Christmas card, but they know I'm one of those cursed children that where the Christmas is so close to the birthday that you get the double present thing. So it's like, this is for your birthday and Christmas. You know, when you're a kid, that sucks. But anyways, I got a card with a small check in it from my 88-year-old aunt. At least she signed it. And yeah, I have to call her and thank her for that. But man, I am like in such a black, depressing type of mood. I don't know if I can fake it. And you know, I don't want to throw no negative energy over there. I just throw it on here. And that way you'd be like, oh, he's in a fucking bummed out mood. I don't want to listen to him. It's like the power of the cursor, man. You can always click off this stuff. Nothing's changed since the optimistic video, which I think I posted it yesterday, but it was made the day before, something like that. I just feel like I'm flooding the internet with these videos, and a vlog should not have hour-long videos in it. Somebody just killing time, you know. If it's like a daily thing, a daily video log. I don't like to say vlog. Vlog the Impaler. But yeah, nothing's changed. Like I said, I mean, it's just the mood. My mood's changed. That's all. And like, I'm realizing like this sickness is gonna hang on for a while. I'm gonna have appetite and bowel issues for a while. It seems like yet. So no more laying around waiting to get better. This is one of them things where you have to fight through it, and it's very hard to do. And but yeah, like I said, this makes it even more important for me to complete the process, to make all this suffering that I've gone through, and that that I've what do you call it? I was gonna say cataloged, that I've memorialized. I don't know, that I've put on the internet. It's I gotta make it like worthwhile. And I wanted to make, like I said, I wanted to make a 2 or 3 month inspirational video. I thought that was a possibility because I went from a milligram a day to a quarter of a milligram a day really fast. So I was like, well, this isn't going to take that long to get off of this stuff. But then, life intervened. I didn't have ideal conditions, so my original plan was to make like a 3 month little like inspirational series of videos, maybe like 15, 20 videos. It just didn't work out that way because life had other things in store for me. But now it seems more important than ever that I complete the process and then I get off of the benzos. It's sort of like, I got more invested and it'll have more weight. The things that I've been through, it will have more weight as far as like for other people, though I doubt that they will sit through the whole thing, maybe I'll do a summation when I get clean. And I'm just going to start talking like that. No ifs, whens. When I get out of here. When I get off of benzos. Now I can't say when I'm feeling better because God, CRPS, don't know. I don't know. That's a don't know type of disease. That's an unpredictable thing. But I can do those two things. I can get out of here and I can get off of benzos and I can leave a record of it behind. It'll be different than other people's accounts because it will be so detailed that they'll be sick of it. But it will also include the highest rated by the medical community pain generating disease there is. And that means that if I can get off of benzos while having something like that, and having it being an autonomic disease, and having benzo withdrawal having such a powerful effect on what is an already damaged system in me, that means you can do it too. If I'm a weak, flawed person, And you know, I'm not no Ubermensch. I'm not no Superman. And that's why it's even more important, I think, for me to complete the process. I don't want it to be my life's work or anything like that, you know, but I can't give up no matter what. Can't give up. Have to complete the process and have to get off of benzos and have to conquer them, because I got too much invested now and I've gone through too much. Even thinking back over all that stuff, I can't believe that I survived. You know, I can't believe that I survived the whole meth squatter situation where I'm like withdrawing from the most potent benzo and dealing with death threats and living in a meth operation where they're cooking it across the street and selling it out of this building and getting death threats and getting involved with the police. You know, it just seems, it seems unbelievable, especially right now when I'm at a nadir or a low point. It's like how did I survive that? You know, how, how did I go through that? Or like I was thinking about the bed bugs thing. Like I washed everything and bagged everything up in this house by myself without any help. And if you, there's a video on me of on here of me walking, not a pretty sight, but I boiled pans of water and washed out all these clothes, all my clothes by hand, instead of just throwing them out and you know, uh, in boiling hot water because that kills bed bugs. And did this insane amount of housework. I'm like, how did I do that? Or how could I do that? It just shows that I guess what a person can be capable of if necessity calls. And I didn't ask for no. You can't ask for help when you got bed bugs, so I did all that myself. But I was like, man, right now, brushing my teeth seems like work. So like, brushing my teeth shouldn't seem like work. I don't have that many of them, but it's like I survived all this stuff, you know, and I survived like emotionally, um, losing so, losing 6 teeth in 3 weeks, and having to deal with all kind of stuff, you know, and then having to deal with family bullshit, which is probably the hardest thing of all, you know, because it didn't make any sense anyway. I was the guy with the chronic pain generating disease, but I was the support guy for like, you know, all these family members. But then when I got the benzo thing and I got broken down, I found out that all these people that I had their back, he didn't really have my back emotionally. You know, I found out a lot of things. You know, I had this like Pollyanna view of people, and that's I see I had forgotten this, but that's what the one thing that the 25-year-old what do you call them, psychologists that used to come here and talk to me, that's the one thing I learned off of her is like, you expect too much out of people. And I'm like, yeah, that was all my expectations. And it's like, that's, you know, I'm holding people to standards instead of just recognizing realities. It's like I'm expecting too much out of people. And why that is, I don't know, but that's the one thing she said to me in months. That actually stopped me in my tracks, and It was a useful thing. But yeah, got to make this happen. Got to get off of benzos. Got to make this worthwhile. I have to justify these hours and hours of your time that I've wasted. Right. I also have to do that. And um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know when. I know how. Just don't know when. But um, I got around 2 grand saved up. You know, account. I got more than that, but I'm saying that's money that I'll have to help with moving by the first of the year. I'll have more than that by February, so I should be out of here pretty quick, relatively speaking. And then I have to acclimate myself to my new environment. I'm sure I don't like moving. I've moved very few times in my life, and I'm sure that's going to be stressful, and I'll have to ease into whatever situation that is and figure out new routines and new ways to get things done and all that. And but then start with the withdrawal and work on it in earnest and get off of that shit and make all these hours, all these dark nights, all this suffering, all these unpleasant revelations about people around me, you know, make all of it worthwhile. Because then I will have made something that will be helpful to other people, that will have value. And that's what I want to do. I am whispering. I have no idea why I'm whispering. I've been whispering this whole. I think it's because I'm saving my voice. But let's drink a toast to that day. And if you're still on benzos, click glasses or measuring cups and drink a toast to the day when feeling bad because of benzos. It's just a memory. Because for me, not a if, it's a when. And I think it can be a win for you too. You just need help. You're going to need help. That's all. And so, as always, best of luck. Hopefully, I won't sound quite so froggy next time, but you'll be hearing from me. You're not going to get rid of me that easy. Oh no. Goodbye.